pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone to our October 7th monthly meeting. I hope everybody got the minutes, and I would like a motion to accept the minutes. Second?
Second.
Any changes, alterations? I just have one. This is not a correction in the minutes, but I kind of misspoke, and it's not in the minutes, but I know I said this. Senator Hernandez's ambulance grant has not been approved. It is still in New York State waiting for approval. Oh. And I think last meeting I said we submitted, it was a different grant.
Yeah, the elevator one, I think.
No, it was the townhouse one.
Okay, oh yeah.
So I called my contact at DASNY. I called her, I guess, last Monday. And she said it still has not been final approval. Now, this is not a DASNY, this is a CREST grant. And I don't know, maybe it takes longer to get approval on that. I don't know. So anyway, I just want to correct what I said last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so normally we let people sit here and listen to us for an hour, and then we get down to what the new business, which is the swearing in of library board member. But we're going to give you a break here, and we're going to swear you in at the beginning of the meeting. And did everybody get the resume from Andrew?
Yes.
Very impressive resume. Welcome back to the East Coast.
Thank you.
You were out there for a while, I guess, huh?
About 5-6 years.
So, as we all know, I think you know, Keith and Annette. Keith.
You're welcome. You're thinking about the mess. It's okay.
Our finance guy, Keith, has left the board, and I believe bringing in Andrew is going to be a good addition to the board. And I was at your first meeting, correct? Yes. So I was at the first meeting of Andrew, so let me swear him in.
Oh. Watch the wires, please. Watch the wires.
You can only get up once.
Good point. Okay. All right. So if you raise your right hand,
I, Andrew Pierpont,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of board member of the Town of Pelham Library.
the duties as board member of the Town of Pelham Library.
Congratulations, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Take a picture and get more of you.
The library's the greatest.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right, you got to sign.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Now, Andrew, you can stay as long as you want or as short as you want. So we have to stay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Welcome. See you Wednesday.
Okay. So let's start out tonight with Deputy Supervisor Zemansky.
Okay, I have September's statistics for our ambulance service. For the month of September, there were 96 calls. 7 in the village of Pelham Manor, 1 mutual aid in New Rochelle, 4 in Tuckahoe, 4 in Eastchester, 7 mutual aids on the Hutch, and 1 mutual aid on 95. The arrival of the fly car or the ambulance was an average of 5.4 seconds. Initial.
Minutes.
I'm sorry. Every month. I do it every month. 5 minutes, 4 seconds. Oh my God. The on-scene time, which is the time spent treating the patient on scene before transport, and could have the fly car and the ambulance there at the same time, was 18.79 minutes. Thank you. The transport average time was 12 minutes, 30 seconds. And the turnaround time, which means the time the ambulance gets back into service from dropping the patient off at the hospital, was 28.36 minutes. So that's been averaging around 30 minutes. There's new staff at Sound Shore, I heard. So Mark's trying to work with the care coordinators there to improve that turnaround time from Sound Shore. So that. We have another quality assurance meeting coming up in about 5 weeks, I believe. We will be reviewing the 6-month statistics at that QA meeting. If anyone has any questions, please give them to me. I'll bring them to the group. Any questions?
I know we've talked about this
Yes.
before, but the numbers now are much higher than the average were in the last 4 years. Because we used to average about 80, 82 calls. This is 96 last.
I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was maybe an awareness thing or a trust thing that they're going to call 911 because they know they're going to get the fly car in 5 minutes and they're going to get, an ambulance almost at the same time. I don't know.
I have a question. If things went to mutual aid, Empress wasn't counting the numbers.
Well, Empress it wasn't included in our numbers.
Right.
Well, we didn't really do mutual.
Well, we weren't at the end, but in the week.
No,
Before
Empress,
that?
we for the last year, I would say before we switched over, we really weren't doing any because
We were using
we were using it, but we couldn't give it.
No, that's what
Oh,
I'm
you
saying.
were using it.
We were using it, and then
Yes,
we're
we're
getting.
giving those mutual aids.
Yeah,
We're not using
Right,
it.
right.
We're giving it. Could be. Could be.
Well, I think the numbers sound really good.
They do, thank you. And I was just gonna say something. Oh, I was contacted by the school to get an ambulance that was not this past weekend, the weekend before. And a little back and forth, but finally there was an ambulance there. Mark, it was the same day, so Mark was able to secure standby. I'm assuming that it will be like that from now on. I'm still in discussions with them, but he hasn't given me the further dates of the other home games, so I need to get those. And recreation flag football. Yeah, it was flag football. Not youth tackle. Youth tackle is also having a standby at all of their games. So Mark was able to arrange that for us also.
So that's an extra one,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
At a discount.
at a discount.
At a discount, he gave it to us for that, because it's a recreation,
That's great.
recreation sponsored program. The school, it depends on whether he sends a BLS, an ALS, or an additional fly car. I believe homecoming night it was a BLS, and thank God it didn't have to be used, but I know our ambulance went down quite a few times and kind of circled around and stayed there. Then they got a call, so they had to leave. Also, Mark told me about an incident this week where they found an 80-year-old choking on a piece of steak, basically almost gone, barely any pulse. They resuscitated her,
Wow.
and she was made it to the ER. He's waiting for the final disposition, but Mark will call. I give him a lot of credit. He will call for the good and he will call for the bad also. But he likes to call for the good when it's good, and just wanted us to know that that happened, and he will give us the disposition when he gets it from them.
That's great, because you weren't finding out about those until they made its way through social media.
That's correct. And so now we hear about I hear about everything, whether it's
Right.
good, bad, and different. That's the right way to do it.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you. Councilwoman McLaughlin on recreation.
The senior medical van did 43 trips to hospital, doctor appointments. They went to Saxon Woods pool party, a civics luncheon, arts and crafts, cards, a tea social, a pizza party, sandwich day, a speaker on loneliness and combating it, a speaker on Spanish history, a trip to Arthur Avenue, and regular exercise and yoga. So the seniors were busy last month. So were everybody else. The recreation department was in full swing all month with regular programming all up and going. They also ran a half-day program when the schools were in half day. There were new piloted programs at Hutchinson schools that apparently are doing very, very well. Most likely they will be rolled out elsewhere in the spring. We have secured indoor space for pickleball on Saturday mornings during the winter months, December through February. Registration will be limited and open up shortly. Stay tuned. I know that it was sold out last year. The recreation department will be hosting a fun event with Pelham varsity athletes on Sunday, October 20th, October 20th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Glover Field. The event will be for children of various abilities and special needs. There will be fun games played, pizza, refreshments, and music for everyone's enjoyment.
What time is that?
5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Glover on Sunday, October 20th. Fall programs, as I said, are running really well. The Halloween parade will be on Saturday, October 26th. The parade begins at 4 p.m. at the Arts Center, and they march down to the townhouse where there will be music, treats, refreshments, and arts and crafts. So you have to have arts and crafts. Basketball registration is open. For grades 4th through 12th. The cost is $175, but there will be a late fee to sign up on November if you sign up after November 1st. Go to pelhamrecreation.com and click Youth Leagues to register. And there's an explanation on all the 4th and 5th grade will play with their schools, and 6th through 12th will play. There's a draft system. Okay. Supervisor McLaughlin and I met with a space planner, Peter Hosier, and we gave him a tour of all the town properties, and he will be back to us with a terms of engagement hopefully this week. So once I get that, I'll send that out to everyone. Planning is underway for the Small Business Saturday on Saturday, November 30th. Lots of activities that day. It'll start with the Civics Pelham Half and 10K, Breakfast with Santa, sponsored by the Pelham Chamber of Commerce. Then they'll continue at 1 o'clock with activities at Gazebo Park and along 5th Avenue. And then it will be concluded with the Town of Pelham tree lighting at 5 p.m. The Pelham Civics Tunerville was a huge success. Lots of fun bringing out all of Pelham and people across the county. It was very, very exciting. Let me see if I'm missing anything. I think that's all I have to report. Any questions?
For the Small Business Saturday, the half K and the Santa, did you say where those are gonna be? Because we had the issue with
Yes,
double booking of Bronco.
the Santa is going to be at the Rail House.
Oh, okay, okay.
All that logistics had been worked out. Most recent email out to everybody was by
Kristen.
Kristen.
Christina.
Christina.
Sorry,
And
Christina.
she sent it out to everybody, and it seems like everything is going the way she wanted planned.
Yeah.
And the Civic seems to be happy with what they got.
So we
So all
moved.
we need is the weather.
Right. We moved her event to start at 1 o'clock to give the
Runners
Instead
time
of
to
runners
clear
time
out.
to finish out. And I'm sure, I know Kristen, you ran last year. I handed out water, and I think the other esteemed colleagues of ours
We
handed
handed
out
out
awards.
medals. We handed out medals.
Right? Did you hand out medals?
A
Excellent.
lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. I'll be there. I'll be
It
there.
was freezing.
I'll hand you water.
Always cold.
Okay,
Right by my house.
thank you very much, Councilwoman McLaughlin. Councilwoman Burke on the court and legal.
So I'm told from the clerk, there's nothing to report. So I guess no news is good news. I didn't want to push it. So, but I do have my reports. But Dan, should I do the Glover? Yes, I have those reports.
Okay.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
I do have these,
All right.
but before I get to that, no worries. Do you want me to do the Glover Fields update? Okay, so Dan and I had a second meeting with this New York Metropolitan Council, Transportation Council, along with the school board members and Lindsay Luft from the Manor, and they're fleshing out even more what the plans look like for redeveloping and improving the pedestrian safety from the corridor, they're calling it, from the school and Wolf's Lane and Colonial through in front of Memorial Field and Glover Complex. So really exciting. They canceled this last meeting because they're trying to finalize what the plans are going to really look like. So we have another meeting, I believe it's next Wednesday, and I believe that's going to be their final version of what they're calling a storybook, which is like a video montage of what it looks like, and then we're going to roll it out. So we still have work to do. Dan and I think we probably need to schedule a meeting with both villages to get on the same page. At the last meeting, I think they tapped the town as like being the one like to run point on the whole thing. Because someone should sort of lead the communication and the, and everybody's, I think, gonna help, but I'm happy to do it. But we should definitely still all be on the same page as to sort of how we wanna do this. So I figured they sent the 2 recordings of our meetings, we could maybe share those with Chance and Chris Skilza and Lindsay in the Manor, and try to schedule a meeting.
And they came out today.
The 2 videos.
Right.
Yes, that's because I emailed her and said we need to send them.
Yeah, they're definitely, I think Russell is the person
Okay.
in the village.
He's doing this stuff with the
Yeah.
pedestrians.
Okay, yeah. So I'll reach out. I'll certainly Chance though, I would think would want to be in the
Absolutely.
loop on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so after tonight, I'm gonna reach out to both and try to coordinate and share the videos. Yeah, so really exciting stuff on that front. And then the only other thing I have is with the grants that we've received. I'll send a reminder on it, right? I know everybody's busy, so I'll send a reminder on that.
My neighbor just put one at, Jonah just put one side of his garage, charges Tesla every night.
Oh, yeah.
His own charging.
Oh,
station.
really? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, they gave us a few options and they believe they're about 10,000 each, which would be great. We could maybe get 2. And they apparently Con Ed has some program where they'll fund
in part sort of setting them up or whatever the, mechanics will be for Con Ed's piece of it. They have a program that funds that. So we have to apply for that, but still, hoping to, get it all covered.
We also have to,
Hoping to, get it all covered.
we also have to figure out what we're doing with the parking lot.
Of course,
Yeah.
So
But
there's
the-
a lot of interconnecting things.
but the way they're saying this funding is we put it in by December and then we'll get a check. And then we can keep the check, cash the check and keep it separate until we figure out what we're doing. And they said that's perfectly fine to do that way. Restrict it, right.
That's why my bill, it's like
Didn't
a
Chris
miracle
say
I've
this was
ever-
30,000?
I know.
To put it in, all told.
All told, yeah. I mean, she's saying cheaper, but we'll see.
Yeah,
There's
we'll
a
see.
few
We'll
options,
see.
so, Yeah, okay, so then with that, I'm gonna get to the reports. Okay, so I will do the judges' reports. Judge Gardner, for the month of August 2024, he received an amount of, it says $0.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they were down 2 weeks, right, the reports, yeah. And Justice Kagan, for the month of August 2024, received an amount of $9,633. Okay, and for town receiver of taxes monthly statement, for town county taxes for 2024, we received an amount of $8,450.51. School taxes received $27,628,822.78. School collection fee received $232,081.59. Duplicate payments from the school, $52,286.15. Duplicate payments refunded, $47,730.70. Penalties and interest received, $591.54. And miscellaneous received $26. Pro rata is nothing, sorry. And for a total amount received of $27,880,527.87.
And this is a new form that we no longer have to worry about
I saw that.
figuring out the
Handwriting?
This is the
handwriting.
first time. This is
Very
great. This
nice.
is the first time I've seen
Very
this.
nice. Very nice.
Kathy and Lisa worked on it last week, so,
Very nice.
yeah.
And that is my report.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Curtin.
On the library, so at the September, we briefly mentioned at the September library trustee meeting, Catherine Campbell and Keith Keaveney, basically ended their service as volunteers, and Supervisor McLaughlin came and gave them proclamations, which was really well received and appreciated. And then Andrew Pierpont is stepping in, and Rob Gigliano is going to become the president of the board. He was voted in as incoming president of the board. From now until Saturday, October 21st, the town library is partnering with United Way for a coat drive. So there's going to be a box in the library entrance by Carroll Place where you can bring gently used coats, hats, gloves, socks. So we're hoping to have a big drive. We know people in Pelham want to clean out their closets and bring them up to the library. On Thursday, October 10th, the Board of Elections will be at the library helping voters fill out voter registration forms, absentee ballot applications, and early vote by mail applications. All forms that you fill out on site will be left with the Board of Elections personnel in order to be returned to their office to be processed. And this applies, to everyone. And it's run by the Board of Elections. And don't forget that Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day, and you can vote here next door at the Toronto Townhouse or OLPH if you are a Matter resident.
What day was that? The drive?
The coat drive?
No, the
The Board of Elections, Thursday, October 10th. Yep, all day. What was the time, Augusta? It was like
It's 12 to 9.
12 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna stay open an extra hour.
Yeah, and it's good for people after work.
Yeah.
The library is doing a Diwali celebration on October 16th from 7 to 9 p.m. It's via Zoom, but to register, Diwali this month
below intermediate, advanced to advanced students who are learning English as a second foreign language, and walk-ins are welcome. Every Tuesday, I've mentioned this before, every Tuesday is digitizing day, so you make an appointment, bring your photos, and they'll be digitized. It's a popular program. 45-minute walks. Every Friday at the library, I was there with my daughter checking out a book, and I got roped into crocheting on Fridays at the library. So I won't be there this Friday, but I'll be there next Friday, and that is from 1 to 3:30 p.m. So you go, and folks are knitting, crocheting, needlepointing at the library. So there's just so much going on there, and all this information is on the website and in the newsletter that goes out. I just wanted to quickly tell you that in September there was a really successful K-Day with over 119 kids got their first library card at the library. So it was like the funnest day, and I went by. And it was great. The weather was perfect, unlike last year where it was pouring rain. And on September 28th, the Friends of the Pelham Library held a Booktoberfest, which was an Oktoberfest in the parking lot. It was super well attended. The timing was amazing, 5 to 8 p.m. So everybody got to bed early, and even though it was raining, it was really well attended, and I think really fun. So that's what I have for the library.
Any questions?
No.
Thank
Lots of
you.
fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
the
good
information
service.
about the election and the coat drive is on the town website under the town update, too, in addition to the library website.
Okay, so the supervisor's report, it just got decimated. Space planning was taken
Sorry.
care of, tree lighting update was taken care of, Bloomfield Crossing was taken care of.
Dan, we got your back.
Yeah, really. I do want to report to the board that I did speak to Millennium Strategies. That's the grant writing that the Village of Pelham uses, and the Village of the Town of Rye. So I spoke to him. He went through, because we are so much like the Town of Rye, that we don't have a police, we don't have parks, we don't have a fire department, that he understood completely what we're responsible for. And he's going to come up with a proposal, and I asked him to have it to us before the budget workshop, which I want to comment is on this Thursday at 8:15. We should be here. And I asked him to get it to me by then. He's got 2 ways he could do this, and he thinks, like the Town of Rye, no, the Town of Rye, I didn't know this, owns parks. I didn't know that. So he has a different thing that he would do with us. But anyway, he's going to send me both, and I'll bring it to the budget board, the budget meeting on Thursday. So that takes care of that one thing that you guys didn't take care of. So we have to pass a local law. And Molly, is this the first local law for 2024?
It is.
It is. Wow. Regarding the tax cap. There is no doubt in my mind that we're going to be over the 2% tax cap. How much? That's going to be the board to decide when we have the workshop. So I would like to propose local law 1 that we put in for approval for law that we pass the tax cap that's currently in place. If we don't have to. But if we don't pass a law, we can't.
Okay.
Right.
So I'd like the board, someone to propose local law 1.
Make a motion.
Make
And
a
this is for
motion.
2025.
It's for 2025.
Yeah.
I have a motion, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Dan, we have to have a public hearing on that, and that'll be at the next meeting?
There'll be a public hearing at the next meeting
Okay.
because you have to have it out there for 30 days.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, we got a couple of resolutions that we have to work through. One is a resolution that the town board appoint Michael Sheehy Sr. to the Board of Assessment for a term of 1 year. Now, the Board of Assessment is made up of 5 individuals from town. Currently, it's made up of from the Village of Pelham, Bill Clements, Mark House, and Joe Bittarella. That's from the Village of Pelham. From the Village of Pelham, it's Vincent Kane and Nicholas Maloney. Michael Sheehy Sr., if approved, would be a member from the Village of Pelham as well. What happens with the Board of Assessment, and I think Joe kind of responded to Kara and told Kara what exactly they do, and basically they sit on the grievance day and help the assessor with what goes on there. Which is in June, right. And that's why you also take people from Pelham Manor and people from Pelham.
Right.
Because some people, people from Pelham Manor know the Manor, people from Pelham know the Pelham. So I would like a motion for the resolution to approve Mike Sheehy Sr. to the Board of Assessment for a term of 1 year commencing October 1st and ending on September 30th.
Is it usually a one-year term?
Not for a temporary, for the regular one, I think it's a 5-year term.
He's a temporary.
Gotcha. Right.
So he would only go to the meeting if someone wasn't at the meeting.
That's correct.
He's a backup.
He still
Yeah,
has to
so
have
is
the
he a
training.
temporary or a backup?
He still has to have the
He
training.
still has to be trained to know what to look for and to do. There was a woman on the, there was a woman.
Barbara Bartlett, she
Yeah,
was on for
Oh, I remember
years.
her.
yeah, for years. Yeah.
Just to answer your question, it is a 5-year term,
Okay.
regular term. Do I have a motion? Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor?
Wait, I would like to discuss. I'm not comfortable since we just got his resume right now. And I'm not 100% sure, you mentioned, Dan, that we've never had a backup.
I've never,
Well,
but he
and
supposedly.
Ray said she's never had one either.
Not since
So,
I've been on. I don't
that's-
remember one.
Right, so that's a good many years. So can we put this off till November to decide?
I don't know what's gonna change. What do you think is gonna change?
I mean, did the board come to us with this recommendation and say
No, the assessor.
just the assessor?
The board does not, the Board of Assessment has nothing to do with it. It's a volunteer position that, they don't pick who, it's his choice.
So he picks it all, it doesn't run like the library board or the rec commission?
No.
He just appoints people,
He doesn't appoint
He doesn't,
people.
you
You
appoint.
recommend.
he recommends and. Maybe we can learn a little bit more about the whole process. Maybe on Thursday, I don't know if there's time to carve out.
I think that Joe, as far as I'm concerned, explained the process.
Right.
He said he had a detailed email that responded to Kara's question. I just don't know why we put it off. If there's something concerning the person, fine, but I don't know that. And
Well, I just saw this for the first time, so I don't.
I think we
did
all saw it
anybody
for the
else-
first
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. We just saw it.
just like you saw Andrew for the first time.
Well, it was
I've
never,
had a couple things.
so it was never requested before that he just put someone forward and the board voted on it.
Okay.
It's very rare that there's even a changeover. They don't change over. They stay on forever. Barbara Bartlett must have been on for, I think Bill Clements also. Once they're on, they usually stay on for a long time. It's not an easy thing to sit,
Well, I do remember we don't get a lot of volunteers.
and
over there.
it's difficult to find some.
Is the idea to train him and then when somebody else goes?
I don't
over,
know what the
train-
idea is. I can't speak
No,
for the
no,
assessor, but
the
I think
idea that, again, it was pretty much detailed in his emails, is he didn't want to get to a field day
and not have a quorum.
not have a quorum.
Okay. Okay.
That was
Okay.
pretty straightforward. But if somebody wants to withdraw a motion and then do it next month, again, I don't see the reason, but I will let that go if the board votes that way.
I'm okay with this.
Well, I know him personally,
Oh,
so
well,
I
then-
can't, you
Oh,
know.
I know him personally.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
I've known him like 30 years, so it's,
Yeah.
I know all about him.
And his, by the way, his son is a lieutenant in the police department downstairs.
Right. So he
Oh,
can hear every
that's
word he's
cheeky.
saying.
That's right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody decline? Okay, thank you. All right, now we got another resolution that we have to adopt. And the resolution concerns the current percentages and the current base proportions for the town and the school district. The school has already approved their adjusted base portions for the school district, and then we have to approve it. And it's resolved that the town board adopt the 2024 current percentages and current base proportions pursuant to Article 19 for the levy of town and school taxes on the 2024 final assessment. And the town of Pelham would have a homestead act of 82.387640, non-homestead 17.612360. Pelham School District homestead 82.371290, and a non-homestead 17.628710. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Does anybody understand it? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm only kidding. I know we all understand. Okay, so I believe we've done everything that was on the agenda. And now I would like to open up for public comment, if there is any public comment. State your name, your address, and go from there.
There is. Marion Zielinski, 61st Street. So I qualify as a senior citizen now. Or if technically I don't, I'm old enough that if I claim I am, nobody asks me for ID, which I gotta say kind of bums me up. And as I've gotten older, when I first moved to Pelham, I felt like I had a lot in common with most of the people here. I was roughly their age. But 12 and a half years later, as people get closer to the age I am now, they tend to leave. And that has got me thinking about the seniors. Everything they were doing that you just went over sounds great, but I feel like my cohort isn't really involved there. We're the young old, and I'm looking for people who I have more in common with. So I came with a suggestion and an offer. I would love it if the town could reach out to people in their 60s who haven't left yet to see what might entice them to get involved and to connect with them, to create a database maybe, and engage with them. I'd certainly do it. And for all that the seniors are doing cool things, a lot of it is really set up for people who are available during the day, as people my age often are not. Maybe are looking for transportation support. It's slightly different. It's a nuanced thing, I know. So it would be awesome if we could send letters to people in their 60s and do outreach. That said, I do a lot of stuff in town, and I know how incredibly hard it is to reach people. I say that like it's an easy thing, and I know it's not. How do I even identify everybody in their 60s?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, how do we do that?
I get it. It's, it would be probably at least $500. I did a teeny bit of research. I haven't looked yet in more depth, but on average in the population, it's 11.5% of the population is in their 60s. It's going to be less in Pelham again because people leave when they get to that point. So my guess is it's maybe 1,000 people, and obviously fewer households because a lot of them are combined. But that's probably $1,000 in stamps and letters and printing and somebody coordinating then all that information. So if that's possible, yay, I celebrate our town. But in the likely event that isn't possible, it's been occurring to me that the the most effective way to reach people is to knock on their doors. And while it's not everybody, ages are public information in the voter lists, and the overwhelming majority of all Pelham residents, and certainly older Pelham residents, are listed as public information. So there are hundreds of people who can get identified as being in their 60s just from that. And the party is irrelevant to this. So I've been thinking I want to knock on people's doors. And there are three questions that come to mind for me. Would you be interested in participating? And obviously, if there are people in the seniors already participating, great, this is irrelevant to them, but I don't know of any my age.
Do you know we have a senior advocate?
Yes,
Okay, have you sat down with the senior advocate?
I haven't, because what I'm getting to is door knocking, and honestly, I don't see them doing that. I'm happy to coordinate, but where this ends up is knocking on people's doors, and the easiest way to identify seniors is just go alphabetically through the voter database. If we could even do 50 doors, that's probably...
Are you asking us?
No. I'm telling you, this is something I'm probably going to do.
Oh.
And the questions I would ask people are, would you be interested, if you're not already involved in the seniors, in participating? And if so, doing what? What comes to mind? Secondly, would you be willing to pay for that? Because if people just want free stuff, it's a whole different deal.
Right,
The budget is what it is. And thirdly, can I have your email? Because data is everything, and starting a mailing list of these people. So partly I'm here to plant that notion on behalf of the dwindling population of people my age who are here. And partly I'm here to say that this is something I'm probably going to do. And if you're interested, unless you're going to do it, if this is something the town can take on, yay, I'd like nothing more than to.
Well, I think it
sit
would be good for you to meet with that senior advocate, because there's lots of data in her
Right.
office that I don't even know if we know what's in her office.
Exactly.
It would be worth
She does
meeting
say
with her to see what she already
Yeah.
has
Yes.
for you.
Now the contact.
And I wouldn't be knocking on doors till after November 5th.
Well,
Yes.
that's true too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people already knocking on people's doors. I looked at the PR contact, and the person who's there, I looked up her name.
Carolyn Beach.
That isn't who I found. I'll get in touch with her.
Yeah.
That
I
wasn't.
think she
It was.
listed
I
as
know it was
Carolyn.
an Italian name. Is the what the
Oh,
person is?
for that's the Senior Citizens Club, Annapurna.
Yes, I think so too. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Carolyn, and if somebody can put me in touch
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
her. I came to you first.
Yes,
Yeah.
come to me and I'll put you in touch with Carolyn, and I also know the gentleman behind you
Yes.
works for the county.
I'm well
doing
aware of
that,
that. Yeah,
so-
yeah.
He might be able to come up with some good ideas for you as well.
I do want to mention, we talked about this last year and we didn't end up doing anything, but there is an opportunity remember we talked about the tax bill? There is an opportunity
Yeah.
to add information that's totally, town related. To your point about this, and I don't know how we parse it out, or maybe we don't, but we just put something in there when we mail out the tax. It's not the taxes, it's like the bill. It's not the bill, it's like the
The
statement.
statement.
When you get, every year you get a statement
Mhm.
mailed to you.
Yes.
Does everybody get that though?
Yes.
Even people that have
Yes.
mortgages?
Yes.
Okay, everybody
It
gets
is-
that.
it is
Yeah.
a
Which is
statement
why.
tonight, Bill.
Got it.
And so
Yeah.
we can, there is, there's a town, I don't know if it's an ordinance or a law or whatever, we would have to basically pass a resolution that says we would add information, that we would collect and approve of onto this, statement, regarding the town. It would have to be, obviously it's town related, so here's something that we're doing. If you're interested in this program or that program, please call Carolyn Heath at the Senior Citizens Office, or some other way, to get in touch. We can also put that on our website. So that's definitely something we can, if we pass a resolution next month, we could include that. So that's a way where the mail's already going out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an additional expense, it's just an addition, it's additional
Yeah.
information.
I mean, anything we can do is
Yeah.
helpful. You guys all know it's the response rate of offering people to take the initiative to give you info is tiny compared to going and saying, I am here to take it. So, anyway, but I will follow up with Carolyn, and I just wanted to plant the seed of advocacy for engaging with people who see themselves as what they call online the young old. Thank
in
you.
that category?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm in that category. I put myself in that
Look at you, Dan.
Do we have any other public comment? Yes.
I'm Ed Doty. I live at 15 Oak Avenue in the village of Pelham. I have a couple of questions, but also I want to remind Maren that
What's your address again?
15 Oak Avenue.
Oh.
Oak, O-A-K,
Yeah.
you know, it's like a big tree.
Yep.
All the streets up there have trees' names.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. But the best people live on Oak Avenue, so.
I live on
After the people on Linden.
Make sure you put that in the
You know,
minutes.
the-
category.
And in any case, I want to point out that the County Department of Senior Services has a lot of information. Maren is probably not aware of this, but there's a whole set of both programs as well as information and demographic information also broken down by villages and towns and things of that sort.
And you gave us a copy of that.
Yes, that's the master plan. Master plan is going to be on, there's a public hearing on the 29th of October in which the master plan will be talked about and unveiled, etc. There's a major survey that was done by the county in connection with one of those universities. I think it was not Mercy, but Pace, in which they were talking about planning for aging. And this is particularly relevant for people in their 60s, in their 50s, in their 40s, who have older adults that they are in their family, need to think about planning, etc. And there's a lot of information that has been gathered. So you have some of that information, which I gave you from before. Also, at the Seniors Club meeting, they distributed a whole set of, just a big pamphlet about transportation options that are available to senior citizens. And so that's also a list of things that are available where you can get rides in addition to using the B line, etc. The main thing I wanted to ask about, though, was the timeline for some of the renovations that are contemplated. I saw on the town update, and I was pleased that it didn't say that the next meeting would be in September. The rolling at the top of the town page has often said meetings, council meetings, that have already been held, rather than saying, you know, it says the next meeting will be October 5th. But that is the actual October. Anyway, that's just in the town update, which you did, it said that the grant for the elevator, which Senator Klein got, which Senator Biaggi then redid, etc., had been adopted.
Senator Biaggi didn't do it.
It was just
No,
Senator
just
Klein.
Senator
Senator
Klein.
And then it was
Klein,
Senator
and then
Fernandez.
Senator Fernandez.
Well, we brought it back, I mean, yes, we brought it back.
But that plus the renovation, et cetera. So I wanted to know what the timeline was for that. You briefly mentioned that a space consultant had been hired, and I want to know something about when the renovations might take place in the townhouse and for this property.
Okay, great question. There's so many interconnected things here, i.e. the police leaving downstairs, i.e. who do we put downstairs, who do we take out of the townhouse. We are not going to do any changes in the townhouse till that's all figured out, and that's what the space planners came in for. So when he comes back and gives us a proposal, and then if we go with it, we'll make those decisions, personnel decisions first before we make physical decisions.
And the space planner, does that also include this property here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's this and the townhouse.
Yeah.
And will there be opportunity for public comment on the plan, or will you just take it?
On the
as
space
that?
plan?
Yeah.
No.
I don't believe that would be necessary because they got the running of this office and not open to public decision. It's our decision, i.e.,
Right.
do we do the receiver with the assessor, or do we do the assessor with the clerk? If you're talking about opening up the idea on what we're doing with the construction, when we get there, I would have no problem getting input.
Yeah.
I just want to reassure you that the money, the grant for the Durango townhouse renovations, that is roughly $287,000. We're still going to move forward making those upgrades and renovations. We're just going to wait until we have a full picture so that we're not throwing good money after bad and then making a change a few months later. But I just want to assure you that the goal is to renovate the bathrooms, to increase the kitchen. And that won't change given the space, but what could change are some other factors that we want to consider. So, but I just want to, because I know that you go to the senior meetings on Monday, and I think that it's important to the board. We told the seniors, in addition to the other constituents that use the townhouse, whether it's recreation and other things, that these upgrades were coming, and so that's what it's there for. We also, had to submit very detailed plans to DASNY about what we would be doing, and so if we changed that significantly, we would have to go back, and so I don't think we're willing to do that, but we just need to take into account personnel and things like that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Well, and the information from the space planner will be publicly available, or will be privately just?
Well,
I
don't know where
It's
you.
gonna be-
No, wait. This space planning is basically how we're going to run the operations on the construction would be with an architect, and that's who we've been working with. So the space plan is going to tell us how we should allocate space to operate
Right.
the town government, not how we should operate the space with the community. So I don't see the public getting any involved.
Right, I mean, we're bringing in a space planner because he has an expertise in that area, which is what we're, aiming to do. So it's not that we want.
The architect is the one that came in with the drawings on what we want to do with the townhouse, which I believe you were part of the discussions. That's separate.
So what happens in this building when the police move out? The public won't be involved at all, they'll just be told?
Well, the public, there's no reason to get the public involved.
But it's kind of like, was the public involved in the municipal center? How they were, you know what I mean? Like there's
Well, they publish
a
the
fun,
plans
the
and
town
so,
has,
yeah.
right, but the town has a functionality, and we have certain services that we must provide by law, and that's what's happening here. I think it's a community kind of based center, that's a different conversation, but to the operation of the town, if that makes sense.
It's things like a controller needs a certain amount of privacy and places to put certain documents, and we have to maintain certain records for so many years. Where does it make the best
Right.
use of
how to
it?
make
And
something
then the
ADA
people who
compliant.
should be facing the public, where is it the easiest place for them to be?
Well, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be publicly available information, but you don't make it.
I think it would be publicly available information, I just think it's different, that's a different question.
Why would
Will
you
it be
care what
input?
my office looks like, Ed?
I do care what goes on in this building, and there's a whole new
Well, wait,
floor
can I
that's
just,
gonna be
wait,
available.
I just wanna finish
and-
my thought. It should be made public, you said, will it be available for public comment?
There
And
you
that's
go.
where I would
There
say
you go.
probably not.
Agreed.
because
Very good,
it's-
Warren.
Agreed.
It's not,
Excellent.
right,
Thank
but
you.
but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be publicly available information, because we're not hiding anything. We're open
Right.
books.
What is it you're looking, are you looking for space in this building? I mean, let's cut to the quick. Is that what you're
I'd
looking
like
for?
to know what the plans are for this building. I'm concerned about the lack of ADA compliance.
We are
Well,
too.
Well,
that's very
well,
good.
just so you are aware, We are ADA compliant. We have a liaison downstairs that if for any reason someone cannot come up here, they will be called to help the person down at the first floor. We have the ramp. We have the ramp at the other. We went through all of the ADA compliance
Right.
years ago.
If
Is
you
it-
do, if you do any renovation, you'll
have-
this.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're
That's
thinking.
why the elevator.
why
has-
we-
That's why
Yes.
we're thinking
Yes.
about putting people downstairs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, thanks.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you.
Do we,
Yeah,
just to
anymore
this, do
with
we know an updated timeline on the municipal center? It has made a huge amount of
I
progress.
was told at the end of November they're leaving.
Really?
No,
The
December.
December.
I was told the end of November, but you were sitting in that chair and I was sitting there.
December
Now it's
is
the
the
end of December.
the end of
That moved.
December.
Still, I mean, that's.
It's going to be firemen first because they need the property.
Yes, yes,
And then I believe that they said that there was, the village hall will be next. Police are last.
So,
Okay.
and
I think they
then-
already have computers and
I heard it was
furniture.
wired
Yeah,
already,
for the village hall.
So we got a lot of work ahead of us after that.
Yeah. And the space planner, I feel like it doesn't seem like he can't work quickly. I mean, we don't, we don't need to drag.
Well,
anything
people hear space
out.
planner and all of a sudden they get,
I know.
you know.
It's
okay.
basically a workflow, like,
Yes.
this person needs to talk to this person, and he has to talk
Exactly.
to everybody.
Exactly.
So,
I think it's a good way to go.
yeah.
I mean, we don't need any space planner to tell us that we don't have enough place for files. And
He noticed that. He wrote that down several times.
exactly.
I just have to mention something. On Friday, Ray and I are going to Westchester County for a meeting on the property by the post.
Okay.
I don't know what the meeting's going to be about.
$1.50.
Yeah,
But
between $1
at 3:00, we're meeting with people
Yeah.
from Westchester County.
$1.50.
Okay,
Okay.
so after the last.
I have to say, you're going there. That's a good thing.
Is it?
See, I think the opposite.
Yeah,
You come here.
on my
not-
turf.
I gotta be
Well, put your lips
Positive.
is
We
it.
gotta
positive, half full, half full.
That's right.
Glass is
That's-
half full.
that's-
At least they're still looking at it.
Right.
I do
You
think
could have
it's,
gotten
I
a
do
nasty
think it's
email.
positive. I do think it's positive, even though it's on their turf rather
Right.
than this turf. Because if it was a flat no, we don't like, we're not doing this with you
We
anymore,
would have gotten
it
an
would
email.
have been a no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my feel. but-
yeah. And
I'm
to-
not sure the numbers
to that-
would be what we want.
Well, it should be. To that point too, we had the 9/11 memorial service on 9/11, which makes sense. And Senator Fernandez was there, and this conversation came up. And I also saw Terry Clements at the library that, and we made reference. And so we're going to be looking for another round of assistance through grants to help us pay for this project. So.
Here's my donation.
I forgot to mention this.
Gotta be funny.
I know Maura was there. I can't remember. Were you at the noise meeting, the noise complaint
Yes,
meeting?
you were there.
You were there. We were all
I came
there.
a little late.
There was
we were all
19 noise complaints last
Yes.
Yeah.
night. 19.
Yes.
The most I've ever received.
Yeah.
So it hasn't changed.
No, it really hasn't.
And it was
I feel like it's definitely gotten better as far as the frequency and the amount, but I understand last night was terrible. I think it was a car roaming around because
I
it's
mean, it was like
heard
3 or
everywhere.
4 in the morning.
I mean,
Did you hear it
Absolutely
Friday night?
crazy.
I didn't. Did you?
She didn't
I
hear,
heard
I
it.
heard it Friday
I
night.
didn't
I
hear
didn't
it.
I heard it.
But I know it.
But
I know
my
people
son
were
heard it
reporting
in
it on the
Pelham.
street and Boston Post Road, but then
I
people
heard
are
it.
But that's not
Did you
Memorial
hear it?
Field, right?
No,
I think it was
no.
last night,
Stuff
though.
is definitely
Saturday
It
night,
was
wasn't it? Or
everybody
Friday
at the
night?
place.
Yeah, it was
Then I
a
also
week
It
saw
late.
wasn't
that they
last
had
night.
it
It wasn't
turned,
last
was
night.
gone and
But
within
it was-
about
it
an
was
hour,
loud.
Which to me shows
I
it's
That's what
on.
they said.
Yeah.
It was
Something
really
happened.
I
bad.
opened my windows and I was like,
woke
who's
up-
having a party?
Mine was more like 2:30 in the morning, and I thought the TV was on, but it wasn't. And it was like, you know, woofers and tweeters
Yes.
where they go boom, boom, boom.
Definitely.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like it happened.
Okay, if the next time I see Senator, I'm gonna mention.
Yeah.
The last thing, Greg, the last thing is all the board members got a copy of the 2023
Yeah.
financial statement. If you have questions, bring them to the budget meeting.
Okay.
I met with the accountant and the controller and discussed the report. He was very, very happy with the report. And just look at it if you have any questions. And I need to say to you, it's a big report. Concentrate on the following pages. Page 12, page 16. 12 and 16. You can read the rest of it, obviously, but 12 and 16 are the most explanatory pages. Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom, for coming to Florida.
We're going into executive